morning, everyone. This is Tony from Her Homestead Skills, and today I'm coming at you after having spent a couple of hours in my garden digging in the dirt. So I've had a shower, I'm all cleaned up, but I am extremely tired, and it's a good tired. I have never minded working in the garden. And one thing that has come to my attention probably in the last few days is that the garden is winding down. It has definitely produced well for me in some respects. I've had quite a few successes and I've had a few failures, but that's pretty normal. As I told one young lady who thought, oh, if you've been gardening for years, you're an expert. Well, no, none of us are ever experts. You might learn a few tricks, but nature always has a say in the matter. I have a tremendous harvest of green peppers yet to, I'm hoping they will turn red, but so far they're all failing. We've had a lot of rain, a lot of sun. It's very hot, which is fine, but we've had too much rain as well, and the peppers are rotting before they go ripe, which is a shame. Picking them green, they might be fine, but waiting for them to ripen and turn red, they go bad before that happens. So it's sad. Got a beautiful, must have 50 to 60 peppers on the plants, and I don't think I'll be able to harvest very many of them at all. The beans have been awesome. They're winding down too. Most of the beans now on the vines are the ones that I missed, and they are too tough to be picked and eaten, so they are left to mature and produce seed for me for next year. My peas are the same, like I just left a few. The peas did well, not as well as I have in the past, but for the little bit that I planted, they were okay. My spinach is growing beautifully. I could still take another harvest, but I would prefer to allow that to bolt and take seed. If not, I do have a little bit more seed, and I may plant another planting for a fall crop. I have planted some more rutabagas for another fall crop. Who knows if they will succeed or not. My broccoli was a total failure. My dill was awesome. My basil was awesome. All my herbs are growing beautifully. Lavender, I will be moving it. I've grown it from tiny little cuttings into really lovely plants. They didn't really produce many flowers this year, but they will be prolific next year. So I want to do a row of them. Now, I'm also planning to plant some more berries next year. I have raspberries that I have planted. Once again, the first year you don't get fruit. You get fruit on second year canes, so I'm hoping for fruit next year. I've also taken numerous cuttings of my favorite jam, which is black currants. I understand the cuttings are very easy to root. We'll see. I've taken quite a few cuttings from someplace that I was allowed to do that, and thrilled to be able to do that. I hope they will root, and if they do, I will be planting them in the garden this fall, so that they can grow strong next year. It's not likely that I'll get fruit next year, but I should hopefully get some plants that are well established. Now, I do still plan to prepare this garden for next year. I'm hoping I won't be there next year, but more than likely I will. And it is rented garden space, but better rented garden space than no garden space for me. I'm just one of those people that need a garden, and I'm preparing it as though I will be there, and should I be fortunate enough to be able to get my own garden again, I will just keep that until I can root up everything that I planted that I want to take with me. So no harm in preparing this garden the way I want and planning for it for future growth. I'm happy to do that. But yes, the garden is winding down. It's clear that we're still in the heat of summer, but that's just about over. So either we'll be doing a small fall planting. I'm hoping, if I remember, to plant some garlic and that has to be planted sometime in October here, September, October, and a few other things. But more than not, I'm just cleaning up, reorganizing, digging up weeds, trying to keep it clean. I didn't weed it as well as I should have over the summer, but that's fine. It's fine. I'll take care of that now before the fall comes. So, with that, I guess comes the idea of, okay, I've done my garden, I've done my harvest, I've done any preserving that I could from the garden, I've done other preserving that I can purchase from the stores that I can't get from my garden. I don't have apples, and I'm hoping to preserve some more apples in a number of different ways within the next month or so. I think late September is when we get fresh apples here, and perhaps I'll go out to an apple farm and pick some beautiful fresh apples from the farms. But yes, it just makes you think, what do you need? What do you want? I finally cleaned out my pantry to determine what I had, what I didn't have, what I wanted, what I needed, what other things I could can, and what I wanted to get rid of. There's always things that you perhaps don't use. You can in good faith and you don't use. So it's after a certain amount of years you decide there's no point in storing it. If you're not going to eat it, don't store it, and you learn not to make it again. So, although Mark's the sort that, no, we'll use it. Well, you know, I found that canning rutabagas, they're terrible. Don't can rutabagas. I've canned them, didn't like the flavor, it changed it entirely. So now I just blanch and freeze rutabaga, and it tastes almost as good as fresh. So, yes. And I threw out all my canned rutabaga. And he's, no, well, we could have eaten that. Well, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. If I don't enjoy a meal, I don't want to eat it. So, anyway, we all have those. And we all learn to say what works for us and what doesn't. And I don't like mushy vegetables, so there are certain things I will not can if it's just going to turn to mush. Or you'll do them other ways, like fermenting is a way that stopped my beans and my cucumbers from turning to mush. So I do not can beans. I ferment beans, or I pickle beans, and I pickle cucumbers. I do not can cucumbers. So you learn what works for you and what you're going to enjoy, and you do that. Now, I think I'm ready for the fall. I still have a lot of dry goods in store. Mark and I have become, well, perhaps it's just summer, we're just not eating as much as we used to, but I think that's pretty normal for the summer. A lot of people's diets tend to change a little bit during the summer months, and you eat a little bit heavier in the winter. But I've got a lot of good things there in my pantry that I'm happy with, and I hope to be doing a little bit more canning, but it won't be as prolific as it has been this past month. So we'll still be seeing some canning videos, just not as many. And sometimes it's just a repetition of the same thing over and over again, year after year after year. So we can do that, and hopefully the videos get better with each year. But anyway, I'm hoping everyone else has had a good year, that you've managed to find the supplies that you need. Had no shortages here, and I don't say that to rub it in. I'm just hoping that most people are the same, that you're having no difficulties finding supplies. I certainly will not be buying any more jars, and I have more than adequate lids even for next year, so I'm good to go, at least of the regular size lids. I may just start buying the reusable lids for the wide mouth, but I won't be buying them for the regular mouth lids because I can get them at a really good price here. But the wide mouth lids are costly, so it might be worthwhile to buy the occasional box if I could, either that or spend money and buy a whole bunch. But right now I still have some wide mouth lids, so I would like to use those up before I worry about buying more. So well, that's it. Things are winding down. I'm hoping that you've had a good year, and we'll all hunker down. Hopefully things don't get too ugly this year. Hoping for the best. Bless you all. Thank you. This is Tony from Her Homestead Skills. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll certainly catch you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye for now.